I want to look at another set of clips from various meetings, school board meetings, municipal meetings around the country where anti-maskers and anti-vaxxers will not stop humiliating themselves. And there is a bigger concern here, and it is one of how easily so many Americans can be radicalized into all sorts of different nonsense beliefs. And what I mean by that is, it's easy to look at these people and to say, this is just someone who's bonkers about vaccines. That's just a person who's bonkers about Comet Ping Pong. And this is someone who believes QAnon or whatever the case may be. There's a bigger problem, which is that for a lot of these people, they would be sucked in delusionally to something. It's not actually only about one thing. It just happens to be this is the one thing that was in the news right now and that got them. And it's the rise of conspiracism, the rise of gullibility, the rise of ignorance, and the lack of critical thinking skills that is rampant in this country. So let's just jump right into the first one. Here's a woman who claims to be a registered nurse with 2 kids. Again, a lot of these folks are delusional even about their own circumstances. I don't know whether this is really a nurse. I don't know whether she really has kids. She said in Florida to the Lee County School Board that they are demonic entities because of either masks or vaccines or something. Take a listen to this.
My name is Melissa. I have 2 daughters in the school system.
So she's already crying. She's so overcome with emotion. She's already crying.
These are demonic entities, and we need to stick together. Remember, we have authority in Christ Jesus. These are demonic entities in all the school boards of all the United States of America, and all of us Christians will be sticking together to take them all out. All the police officers that kick us out for our First Amendment right will also be going down with them. Do you understand?
No, I don't understand. I don't know what she's talking about.
I'm a nurse, infectious disease, 13 years. Masks don't work. These doctors that sit up here that were sneering at us and looking at us like we're scumbags, they need to go back to fucking medical school.
Ma'am, you're out of order. Please. This is your last warning.
Now the mic seems to have been cut.
Communications.
Ooh, some nasty audio feedback there.
They need to remember, natural immunity is best. You are all demonic entities. You are going to be taken down.
Excuse me, ma'am. You've already had your first warning, and this is your last. She cannot speak anymore. The following.
So that's serious mental illness. We're not joking around. We're not saying, woo, she's crazy. That is an individual completely disconnected from reality. So what do we do about it? Is the problem, and I don't want to just write it off and say, this is, we only need to think of this as a mental health situation. But this is clearly someone who's not well. And she also is just wrong about a lot of facts. How do we deal with that? Here's another one. This is painter Scott Brady, who showed up to the Springfield, Pennsylvania school board meeting in a hazmat suit because his daughter has to wear a mask and something about Hitler.
Kid to wear, they don't do nothing. They don't do nothing. 1985 outbreak. It was a monkey with a virus. They wore hazmat suits. E.T. came down. They quarantined the whole house. They had hazmat suits on. What do you have, short-term memory loss? Because I think yous do. First of all,
I think yous do. Couldn't say it any better.
OSHA certified those masks. Are they certified by the FDA?
Those bastards.
THC and everybody else? No.
I actually don't think this is Joe Pesci. At one point, I thought this was actually Joe Pesci doing the My Cousin Vinny character in a hazmat suit, but it's not. This is a real guy, apparently.
This is right here. And I got air coming through. It's air purification system through 3M. Okay? This is what you wear in an outbreak. This is what you wear if this was so bad. Okay? So I have a little girl that comes to my house every day. Last year, they all went back.
That's suspicious. By the way, shouldn't that be investigated? A little girl is coming to his house every day?
That was great. Everybody went back. And that's your choice. We all went back. We all wore masks last year, right? Everything went smoothly. That was fine. But now the year's changed. Numbers got better, right? Numbers got better in June, July. So in June, we passed the safety program where it was going to be optional, okay? So let's go back to optional. If the numbers are there and everything's low, let's go back to optional. Because my kid's going into 6th grade. You know what 6th grade teaches? Spanish. Okay, remember taking a language in the high school? Remember taking a language?
Whoa, dangerous languages are being taught.
In grade school, you need to see the teacher's mouth. You need to see the expression. So guess what happens if my daughter goes to take Spanish and she can't see the teacher teaching the mouth movements? They don't learn. So guess what we fall under? And I'll give you history.
Now,
here.
that's the one reasonable thing. My mom teaches Spanish in college, and she has pointed out, it is very difficult if you're trying to teach Spanish to non-native speakers. And if they're native speakers, they already speak Spanish. If you're trying to teach people Spanish who are learning it as a second language, the mask does make it difficult. And lots of schools are saying, well, the students are all going to wear masks. The teacher can be far away and not wearing a mask. That's a relatively minor issue.
1919. Know what those masks caused? Bronchial pneumonia. That's what killed most people in the Spanish flu. Okay. Third of all, let's get back to the kids. Okay, my little girl next door, a friend of mine, she was in my house for 3 days. Went back to school. Guess what? She had COVID.
All right. So there's this guy. Next clip is from Fort Myers, Florida. And this is another one of these ideas that the masks will facilitate sex trafficking. We heard this last week, by the way.
How you doing? My name is Brian Biggs. Biggs, B-I-G-G-S, not Briggs. I want to talk about the real pandemic, child sex trafficking. By putting masks on these kids' face, you can't identify any of them.
Yeah.
So by the 9 of you already voting on this, tells me you guys support sex trafficking.
Hey, sir, you're out of order.
Yeah, we heard that last week as well, which is like a really specific thing, which is you can't identify the kidnappers if everybody's wearing masks. Why are the kidnappers in schools at all, and what's going on in the schools? That's another question. And then here's an example of how everything is always a conspiracy. This is video from a live feed of the Lee County School Board meeting. And the guy shows up and says there's a conspiracy not to stream the meeting, but we saw it on the feed. It's always a conspiracy.
Was the live feed that's typically done for these events is down. Did you know that?
Ooh.
No one can seem to find it. Why would that be? By accident, of course, we know that. I mean, seriously, we know disinfectant, sunlight is a great disinfectant, and we know when stuff like this is brought to light.
I think he's mentioning that metaphorically. I know that with Trump suggesting disinfectant, you actually have to be, are we talking about a metaphorical disinfectant or a literal? Here he's talking about a metaphorical one.
It will get fizzled out and die. And I know that's what you're trying to hide here, but...
Oh, wait a second. Now I'm wondering, is he literally talking about sunlight as a disinfectant? Now I'm not sure. In any case, it's always a conspiracy. Somehow it's always a conspiracy. Now it's not only that they want to put masks on kids in school, but they want to prevent people from finding out, so they've taken down the live feed. Of course, we all saw this on the live feed. It's either Comet Ping Pong or Obama isn't real or he's a Muslim. Now it's masks and vaccines. These people will always find something, and it's the conspiracism that is partially the illness. There's also actual mental illness, and then there's also ignorance. How do we deal with this? Quite frankly, I don't know.